The night before the incident, while Quinn was sound asleep waiting for the other two to return, Peter had been called out by the group of first-years. They had added him as a friend on his communicator watch and was able to send a message whenever they wanted to call him. That night, they had asked to meet outside of the dorm room building. 5 of the first-years were standing outside, including Earl. "So I see it looks like your friends seem to still trust you, and you managed to get on their team then?" Earl said as he lifted his hand to look at his watch. "Oh, didn't I say to meet here at 8:30? It looks like you're a couple of minutes late." 2 of the first-year students then rushed over and grabbed Peter. One of them held his hand behind his back, while the other held out his right hand. 2 minutes late means 2 fingers, I'm afraid." Earl then held one of Peter's fingers. "Wait, I'm sorry, I needed to be careful. I had to make sure Vorden wasn't following me as you asked," Peter cried. Fine, I'll be generous," Earl said as he pushed down and snapped Peter's finger. Before Peter could even cry out in anger, he bit his tongue for fear that they might do something much worse if someone had heard him. The others watching flinched at the sight. Although they were helping Earl, even they feared him a little. It wasn't normal for someone to be able to hurt or break someone's bones so easily like that, but Earl was able to repeatedly do it easily as if it was nothing. "We will only do 1 finger then, but you know what will happen if you're late again," Earl said as one of the first-years came over and started to heal Peter's finger. As the student healed Peter's finger, he could feel Peter's body shaking. His eyes half dead, the boy wanted to say he was sorry, but knew that was how the world currently was. All he had was a healing ability. He had no combat powers and had no choice but to follow those stronger than him. Otherwise, it would be him instead of Peter in this situation. "I called you out here because the general wants to have a meeting with you," Earl explained. The group of first-year students, including Peter, then started to escort him around the school. That's when Peter noticed that they had left the first-year campus building and had gone into the second-year buildings. Instead of going through the front entrance, though, they entered through the back and took the emergency exit stairs. The walk was long, but they had finally reached one of the private integration rooms for second-year students. Earl knocked on the door before entering, and only entered once he heard a voice. "Come in," the man said. As they entered the room, there was a table and 2 chairs opposite each other. Sitting in one of the seats was the General Duke, who was in charge of the second year. "You guys wait outside. I would like to talk with Peter on his own," Duke said. The first-years left the room and waited patiently just outside the door. "Relax, take a seat, no need to be afraid." Peter did as Duke asked and sat in the seat, but couldn't help but wonder why the general had asked to meet him. The general was one of the highest-ranking members in the whole city. There was only one person higher than him, and that was the head general. "It seems those people have gone too far with you." Duke then placed his large hands on the table and looked Peter dead in the eye. "Peter, would you like to have the power to fight back?" Suddenly Peter's dead eyes went slightly into life again as he heard those words. "I looked at your file. You had no ability before coming here, and when you entered school we gave you the Earth ability. Right now you're only a level 1, but I can change that for you." Duke then pulled out several Earth skill books and threw them out on the table. "I know you've been saving up trying to get your hands on these. With this, you can finally get out of the level 1 power range, and with that, your troubles would go away. You would be able to graduate from school with a good grade, join a company to go hunting, and earn a good wage for the rest of your life. Sounds nice, doesn't it?" Duke said with a huge smile on his face. Peter couldn't keep his eyes off the skill books in front of him. These skill books were ones that only the military had a hold of. Now that Peter had the Earth ability, the only way he could improve his power was through these skill books. Then finally, he would no longer have to live his life in fear. "Of course, these things don't come for free. The world doesn't work like that. Those men out there work for me. They do what I say, and in return, I offer them protection within the school and outside of the school. Not only that, but they get rewarded for doing well," he said as he held up one of the skill books. "You're going on your first portal outing sometime soon, aren't you? Let me tell you, accidents happen all the time, and every year a student dies on another planet. Now information has it that maybe this year, someone from that team of yours will go missing. You're a smart boy, so I think you can understand what I'm saying. Now maybe that person will be you, maybe not. So, what's your answer going to be?" Last night it was clear to Peter what Duke was saying. Either he did what Duke said, or he was the one who would go missing. But the target was never meant to be Quinn. The target was always Vorden. When Quinn shouted and had somehow found out Peter was in on the plan, he panicked. He didn't know what to do and had pushed Quinn into the portal. His hands were now shaking as the realization had hit him. "What the hell have you done?" Vorden shouted. "I'm sorry," Peter said. "You don't understand. I had to do it." "What? Let me guess. Because you were being bullied? Because you were being threatened?" Vorden shouted as he continued to walk towards Peter, and at the same time, Peter would walk back. "Do you not think Quinn has been going through the same thing as you? He's a level 1 just like you. And do you think they didn't try threatening me when I was tied up and placed on that thing? So what if they hit you? They punch you and make you bleed. You can fight back. As long as you are alive, you can always fight back." Vorden then pointed towards the red portal. "But what have you done? You have basically sent Quinn to death. No matter what, there is no coming back from death. He can't fight back now. Did you even try to fight back?" Peter then fell to his knees as his mind was in a mess. Did Vorden and Quinn truly know what it was like to live his life? All Peter wanted was a normal school life, to go through it without any troubles. And someone was offering that to him. Maybe he took the easy way out, but he didn't feel that way. He had already gone through his own suffering before entering the academy, and even worse now that he was in the academy. Why did he have to be the one targeted by Earl and the others? But there was one thing that Vorden said that did strike a chord with Peter. Did he ever try fighting back? He always thought it was useless. The outcome had already been decided, so why get hurt even more? Perhaps that's what made Duke and the others think he was an easy target in the first place. Then suddenly, Vorden started grabbing his head. He started moving all over the place, swinging his head like crazy. "I can't hold him back anymore, Vorden." "You have to try. If he takes over, who knows when I'll get control again." "The shock is too much for him. Looking at Peter is only making his emotions stronger." As Vorden looked up, Peter could see his eyes filled with tears, sadness. Then Vorden looked towards the portal. "No! What are you thinking?" Peter shouted. Vorden then turned around and looked at Peter. "Peter, this is for your own sake, but you better hope I don't come back out of here alive." Vorden then ran straight into the red portal, his body vanishing from the room. When teleportation devices were first discovered, there was hope that they would be able to set these to travel to wherever they wanted to. At last, the idea of colonizing planets such as Mars was a dream come true. Spacecraft had been invented but were unable to travel at light speeds needed to make it viable. However, they were able to create large portals that allowed ships to travel through. But the dream was short-lived. The portals were only able to pinpoint planets at a set location, a place that was not known to their universe, perhaps a whole different dimension altogether. No one knew the truth, and scientists could only theorize where exactly these portals led to, but what they did find was each of these planets harbored deadly beasts that had never been seen before. Then, when the first beast was killed and harvested for research, the beast crystal located inside it was discovered. Inside the crystal contained a power far greater than anyone could imagine. Although many would say the success of defending against the Dalki was due to the discovery of the originals, this wasn't exactly true. Their abilities only took them so far in the war. There weren't many with powerful abilities strong enough to go against the Dalki. Their technology was too advanced compared to humans. Nuclear weapons would be portaled out somewhere before they even hit the ships, and bullets did no harm to Dalki skin. But then, a new discovery was made with the beast crystal, thanks to Richard Eno once again, and that was the discovery of beast weapons. Humans combining their abilities with powerful beast weapons was the true turning point in the war, but not many people remember this fact, as they were too fascinated with the discovery of abilities that happened nearly at the same time. As Vorden jumped into the red portal, he felt a tingling sensation all over his body. The world around him started to warp and displace, and his mind felt like it was melting. It wasn't a horrible feeling. In fact, the feeling received when traveling through the teleportation device even felt addicting to some. A few moments later, Vorden had arrived at his destination. He opened his eyes, and the first thing he noticed was the place was incredibly dark. The sky was black, and the only light source available was from the 2 moons outside in the distant sky. Around him were crumbled-down buildings and structures, as if at one point the place was used to live in. Vorden still had his hands held by his head, but when he opened his eyes, the pain started to go away, and his mind started to clear up. "It seems like the little one has finally calmed down," Vorden said, Any longer and he might have come out and done something. What does the matter? Rayton argued. Do you even know where we are? You jumped through that red portal. Vorden then started to look at his surroundings. It was strange to see building structures around them. Buildings were the sign of humans or an advanced civilization, and so far when discovering other planets, there had been no signs of this. When there was building work, it would usually be Dalki structure, but this was clearly not Dalki-based. Aren't the red portals meant to be unsheltered planets? This place looks like a broken shelter. I think you are forgetting something, Rayton said. While orange may mean it's in the process of being taken over and sheltered being places, red can also mean it's too dangerous to build a shelter in the first place. You have basically given us a death sentence. What do you mean? Vorden asked. Are you really being so stupid? Sure, you might have run through that portal so you didn't kill your friend, but what's the point if we die instead? The only ability we have right now is that weak level 1 Earth ability. If we run into a deadly beast, we're doomed.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.